Right. Right. Consolidation, is that theoretical part or did you do calculations? Right. Okay. දැන් මේක එක්කන එක එකව කියන්නේ නිසා මේ ටියුටෝරියල් ක්ලාසස් කීපයක් තිබුණාද? නෑ නේද? Right. Goodwill calculation. Right. Right. What the point? Right. So we will do this question, and this is you know very important, and the procedure that will be adapted will be a little bit different from the procedure that is usually adapted in practice, right? Therefore, you have to familiar with the method that we are adapting here, right? Now, first thing, we have to do the acquisition analysis, right? Now, yesterday also, you have done the acquisition analysis to find the goodwill or gain on bargain purchase, and even the last session, we did the acquisition analysis, okay? We'll take that one. The first thing that you have to do is the acquisition analysis. There, our purpose is to find the goodwill or gain on bargain purchase, right? I taught you that goodwill or gain on bargain purchase is the difference between the consideration and the fair value of identifiable net asset. Consideration එකයි fair value of identifiable net asset එක අතර difference එක තමයි එක්කෝ either goodwill or a gain on bargain purchase. So what I do is I take the consideration first. Consideration. Now it is a cash consideration. As I remember, the figure is 400,000. 400,000. Right? Now from the consideration, you have to subtract the fair value of identifiable net asset. Less fair value of identifiable net asset. Right? First of all, we will take the reported value or the carrying amount of net asset. I told you right from the beginning, it is convenient, it is easy to use the equity approach rather than asset minus liability approach to take the net asset. Okay, so what you can do is you can take the reported or the carrying amount of equity balances at the date of the acquisition, right? Now they are given. At the acquisition date, share capital of the subsidiary company, that is Lotech company, is 300,000. So I take the reported values. Number one, share capital. Right? Now its reported value or the carrying amount is 300,000. Netsarani is asking, can't we use the cost of control account? No, Lamai, the method adapted here does not use the cost of control account, right? Therefore, you can't use the cost of control account, right? I told you that you have to adapt to the method that we are following, right? Otherwise, you will not be given marks at the examination, right? Therefore, you have to familiar with the method that we are adapting here. Share capital, that is 300,000. Then retained earnings. Retained earnings 50,000. Now these two are the reported net asset. But what we want is the fair value of identifiable net asset, not the reported. Okay. Now for that, we have to consider the fair value changes. right? Now it says land held by Lotec, that is a subsidiary company, was undervalued by 10,000 rupees. එතකොට තියෙන land එක undervalue වෙලා තියෙනවා. Now what does that mean? Available land of Lotec Limited has been undervalued කියන්නේ its fair value is high or low than the carrying amount. What is your answer? Now land has been undervalued, right? What does it mean? Does it mean that fair value is higher than the carrying amount or less? Yes, Lamai, you might confuse it. එකෙන් කියන්නේ ළමයි under value වෙලා තියෙනවා කියන්නේ fair value එක higher කියන එක. හරි under value වෙලා තියෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ under value කියන අවතක්සේරු වෙලා තමයි තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් fair value එක වැඩි. හරි fair value එක වැඩි. Yes. Most of your answers are correct. Fair value is higher than the carrying amount. Okay, ඒක නිකන් මතක තියාගන්න. If I write it here, fair value is higher than the carrying amount, right? That is the meaning of the land has been undervalued. ඒ කියන්නේ අවතක්සේරු වෙලා තමයි තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් its real value or the fair value is higher than the carrying amount by 10,000, right? And also you learned the deferred tax. Now this process will be a little bit or further complicated because of the tax implication. Okay, the method or the procedure adapted in this textbook takes the deferred tax implication into the consolidation, right? Therefore it will be a bit of a difficult task, right? I agree that. Now you know that if I just remind you about the deferred tax adjustment, because it is very important for this lesson, right? In an asset, in an asset, if the carrying amount is greater than the tax base, okay, carrying amount is the accounting base. If the carrying amount is greater than the tax base, what is the impact? Tell me the impact. Is it deferred tax liability or asset? For an asset, if the carrying amount is greater than the tax base, yes, it is others. I got the answer from the Netsarani. Yes, deferred tax liability. So it is a deferred tax liability. Then you can build the other three combinations. Now, if the carrying amount of the asset is less than the tax base, the result is deferred tax asset. Okay. And for a liability, if the carrying amount of the liability is greater than the tax base, right, the impact is the opposite impact of asset, right? Therefore, the impact for taxation is deferred tax liability. Sorry, deferred tax asset. Deferred tax asset. The last scenario, if the carrying amount of the liability is less than the tax base, the result is deferred tax liability. Right? Now, if you want, you can write this down somewhere. asset එකක නම් carrying amount එක වැඩි වුණොත් එහෙම tax base එකට වැඩිය deferred tax liability එකක් එන්නේ. asset එකක carrying amount එක අඩු වුණොත් එහෙම tax base එකට වැඩිය deferred tax asset එකක් එන්නේ. ඔයාලා මේව ඉගෙන ගන්න තියෙන්නේ deferred tax lesson එකේදී. liability එකක නම් carrying amount එක වැඩි නම් tax base එකට වැඩිය deferred tax asset එකක් එන්නේ. liability එකක carrying amount එක අඩුයි tax base එකට වැඩිය. එතකොට deferred tax liability එකක් එන්නේ. Is this clear lamai? Is this clear? Quickly. Okay, thank you. Right, you have responded. Otherwise, Lamai, I don't know whether you have written down or whether you have understood. Right, so the responses are important. Right. Now, I told you that we are taking the net asset approach. Net asset approach. We'll take the first one. Now it says land held by Lotec was undervalued by 10,000, meaning that its fair value is higher than the carrying amount. Fair value එක carrying amount එකට වඩා වැඩි. Right? By 10,000. Now on one hand, right, asset will be increased by that 10,000 increase. Asset එක 10,000 වලින් වැඩි වෙනවා. Right? Now asset carrying amount is increased by the tax, increased than the tax base. The asset එකක carrying amount එක වැඩි වෙනවා. මොකද fair value increase එකක් තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට deferred tax liability එකක් එන්නේ. එහෙනම් tax implication එක 30% deferred tax liability එකට යනවා. එහෙනම් equity වැඩි වෙන්නේ 70%. Right? එහෙනම් fair value of, we'll take here fair value changes of land. Now remember that we take the fair value adjustments, right? Fair value adjustments of land. Therefore, we take the impact to the equity. මේ land එකට වෙන impact එක නෙමෙයි බලන්නේ equity එකට. land එක 10,000 වලින් වැඩි වෙනකොට deferred tax liability එකක් ඇති වෙන නිසා equity වැඩි වෙන්නේ 70% වලින් විතරයි. So you can calculate it, right? 10,000 multiplied by 70%. Take this here. Right? So it is 7,000. Now again and again I am telling the same story. This 7,000 is the impact to the equity. Right? That's true that asset will be, or the land will be increased by 10,000, but because of that the deferred tax liability arises. Right? Therefore the equity increase only by 70%. Therefore 10,000 into 70%, 7,000. Okay. So similarly we can take the other one, that is buildings. Buildings held by Lotec was undervalued, again undervalued. Right? Meaning its fair value is higher than the carrying amount. Fair value එක වැඩි, carrying amount එකට වැඩි. Building has been undervalued. A question has been raised. You told that we use net asset approach. Are there any other approaches? Yes. Now, if you participated to the previous lecture or previous sessions, right, I told you that you can take asset liability approach. Without taking share capital and retained earnings, you can take all the asset minus all the liabilities. Then again, the balance is net asset. Right? Asset minus liabilities approach is one approach. Equity approach is the other approach. Right? Okay, so the next one is buildings held by Lotec was undervalued by 45,000. again it is an undervaluation. Therefore, fair value is higher than the carrying amount, right? Therefore, what happens? The same uh, you know same result, because the building's fair value has been increased by 45,000. The difference is 45,000. Now the carrying amount of the building has been increased because of this fair value increase. Now it results to create a deferred tax liability. Carrying amount එක වැඩි වුණොත් එහෙම tax base එක same, right? Therefore it results a deferred tax liability, right? So net, I mean the equity will be increased only by 70%, right? So what you can do is you can take the building item, now the fair value increase is 45,000, but we take the impact to the equity, so equity will be increased only by 70%. Why? Because this creates a deferred tax liability. Therefore, equity will be increased only by 70%. Okay, a question has been raised. The revaluation gain of land won't it affect to the tax base? The question is not that clear. So the revaluation gain of land won't it affect the tax base? No. Got it. Right. Now I understood the question. Now I revalue කරා කියලා tax base එකට impact එකක් නැහැ. Tax සඳහා revalue කරන්න බෑ. Right? For the purpose of taxation, if you have learned taxation, for the purpose of taxation, you can't revalue the asset. Therefore, no impact to the tax base. Right? Okay, we'll take the value 45,000 increase into 70%, that is 31,500. Okay, therefore the net impact to the equity will be increased by 31,500. So we have addressed number 1 and number 2. If you have questions, you can raise. Number 3, a contingent liability relating to an unsettled legal claim with a fair value of 3,000 was recorded in notes to Lotec financial statements. The Lotec financial statements වල notes වල තමයි තිබුණේ contingent liability එක. අපි දන්න notes වල තමයි contingent liability disclose කරන්නේ. ඒක නේ recognize කරලා තිබුණේ නැහැ. But it has a fair value of 3,000. Okay. Now, you know, in consolidation, we can recognize this contingent liability as its fair value can be measured. And measure කරන්න පුළුවන් නිසා අපි මේක recognize කරනවා. Now think about the impact to the equity. Now if I write the basic accounting equation, asset equal liability plus equity, right? Now this is a liability, right? Liability is increased. If the liability is increased, the equity comes down, right? Then ඉස්සර okay, the earlier treatment may ඔක්කොම okay, now question has been raised. How did I take the 70%? Okay, we'll take the first one again. it doesn't matter the timing. I mean, it will take some time, but what is important is to understand. Otherwise, we can't go to the complex areas. Right? If I take the number 1, now the land is increased by 10,000. Land is an asset. Therefore, asset increased by 10,000. Okay, I understand the question. Okay, we'll take first one again. Now, land fair value has been increased by 10,000, right? Therefore, if I put that into the accounting equation, land is an asset increased by 10,000, right? Now, the carrying amount of the land increased by 10,000. But for the purpose of taxation, you can't do revaluation. You can't measure the asset at fair value. Right? Taxation වලට ඕනේ historical cost එකම තමයි. ආයේ fair value ගන්න බෑ. ඒතර tax base එකට no impact එක. Tax base එකට no impact. So tax base is remain at the same level, whereas carrying amount is increased due to this 10,000 fair value increase. Then what happens? Carrying amount is increased, but the tax base is same as earlier. No impact to the tax base. So it results deferred tax liability. Right? In the question, it says the tax rate is 30%. Okay, that tax rate is 30%. Now, it is a deferred tax liability. 10,000 into 30%, a liability. Okay, 10,000 into 30%, it is a deferred tax liability. Right? Therefore, the equity will be increased only by 7,000. 7,000 is what? 10,000 multiplied by 70%. 70% is what? Right? The tax rate is 30%. The rest of the thing, I mean, rest of the percentage. Right? Tax rate is 30%. Now, equity impact 70%. Right? So 7,000 to the equity. How did I get this 7,000? 10,000 multiplied by 70%. 70% ගත්ත කොහොමද? 100 වලින් 30% tax නම් ඉතුරු ටික තමයි අපිට ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මේක තමයි මම ගත්තේ equity approach එකනේ. මෙන්න මේක තමයි මේ represent වෙන්නේ. Clear? ළමයි, is this clear? දැන් මේ ටික clear කරගන්න නැත්නම් දැන් හිතන්න මේකත් මෙච්චර අමාරුයි නම් advanced topics වලට ආවට පස්සේ තව ගොඩක් අමාරුයි. ඒ නිසා මේක clear කරගෙන යන්න ඕනේ. Okay. Right. Okay, Radhika is asking why they have given depreciation rates to building. Don't we want to calculate the depreciation? We want to calculate depreciation based on the new value, but in subsequent periods. Okay, but the acquisition analysis is carried out at the acquisition date, right? Therefore, no impact of the depreciation rates on the acquisition analysis. That's true that we have to take them into consideration in subsequent periods, right? Not now. Now, in the acquisition analysis, what we do, we are going to find the goodwill or gain on bargain purchase at the acquisition date, right? Not in later periods. Therefore, no impact of giving the depreciation rates and other information to the acquisition analysis, right? Okay. If I take the second one also, now if I erase this part, right, number 2, the building has been undervalued, meaning that its fair value is higher than the carrying amount by 45,000. Therefore, asset will be, or the building will be increased by 45,000, right? Again, the same case applies here. The carrying amount is higher than the tax base. Tax base is constant, I mean, remain at the same level. Revalue කළා කියලා tax වලට ගන්න නැහැ. The tax base එක එහෙමම තියෙද්දි carrying amount එක වැඩි වුණා. එහෙනම් result is deferred tax liability. So we can take 30% tax liability. 45,000 multiplied by 30%, that is 13,500. 13,500. Therefore, net is the impact to the equity. That is 31,500. Okay, which has been taken to the calculation of fair value of identifiable net asset. Okay, hope it is understood. So if I take this third one, a contingent liability, originally it was in the note, meaning that Lotec Limited had not recognized that in the financial statements, it is in the note, right? But when it comes to the consolidation, you have to take the fair value. If you can measure the fair value, though it is low probable asset or liability, you have to recognize it, right? I have covered that in the previous session, right? Therefore, we have to recognize that. Now the thing is, it is a liability. Contingent liability is a liability. Okay. So if I take into the if I take that into the accounting equation, it is a liability. So liability increase. Liability increase. Now, if the liability is increased, right, its carrying amount is increased. This one. Carrying amount is increased than the tax base because there is no impact to the tax base. It is remain constant. It is remain at the same level, right? Now, carrying amount is increased in the liability, contingent liability, whereas the tax base is same as earlier. Therefore, the result is deferred tax asset, right? By how much? 3,000 into 30%. It is an asset. Therefore, 3,000 into 30%, 900. It is an asset. Okay, then you know that if a liability increases, the equity comes down, right? Equity comes down. Therefore, equity comes down only by 70% of 3,000 because we have taken the deferred tax asset, right? Therefore, 2,100 equity comes down, right? How did you take this 2,100? 3,000 is the liability value, but it created a deferred tax asset. Therefore, net impact to the equity is 70%. Okay, so it is a reduction in the equity. Okay, we'll take that figure. Contingent liability. Contingent liability. The value is straight away you can take the value 3,000 liability value that multiplied by 70%. We get 2,100, but it is a reduction. It is a reduction. I will erase these lines. So this is this. Now, are these two adjustments clear, Lamai? May adjustments to clear? Okay. Right. So what we have found the fair value of identifiable net asset, right? On the other hand, we have the consideration, that is the fair value of consideration, right? So we can compare these two. Now, if I take the total fair value of identifiable net asset, 300,000, 50,000, 7,000, 31,500 minus 2,100. It is, if I erase this as well, 386,400. That is the fair value of identifiable net asset. This amount. Therefore, you in the sense the parent has paid an excess amount to acquire this low-tech company, right? Now the consideration is higher than the fair value of identifiable net asset. Therefore, this creates, is it a goodwill or gain on bargain purchase, Ramai? What is it? The difference is 13,600. What is it? Goodwill. Yes. Gunatilaka, Madhushika, Matarage. Right, your answers are correct. It is goodwill. Yeah. So keep in mind this acquisition analysis is carried out on the date of acquisition, that is 30th June 2016. Now we have done the acquisition analysis, right? The next things, now before we go into the next topic, I mean not next topic, next step, tell me any questions. If you have any questions, you can tell me. Okay, hope no questions. The next step, if I go back to the previous slides, now we have done the acquisition analysis. This is done. Step number 2, consolidation adjustment. Under that, number 1 is business combination valuation entries. I told you that in simple terms, we call it as BCVR entries. Okay, now we are going to write BCVR entries. Right? So we have done the acquisition analysis and we found a goodwill of 13,600 in this question. Now we get into the consolidation adjustment. Under that, first one is business combination valuation entries. Dulani is asking a question. Yeah, another question has been raised by Dulshan. When we consider asset minus liability approach, do we take those deferred tax liabilities? Yes. Right? Now, if you look at this accounting equation, now if you take asset minus liability approach, 10,000 minus 3,000, it is 7,000. Right? 45,000 minus 13,500, it is 31,500. Right? 900, 3,000 minus 900, 2,100. So as we get the asset minus liability approach, right? Usually my basic accounting, asset minus liability is equal to equity, isn't it? Asset minus liability ගත්තොත් equity එකට සමානයි. නමුත් අර මෙන්න මෙතන මම ගන්නකොට කිව්වේ equity approach එක ගන්න කියලා. ඒතර ලේසි. ඔක්කොම asset ගන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. මේ ඔක්කොම ගත්තේ equity එක වෙන බලපෑම. ඉතින් මේ basic equation එකෙන් තේරුම් ගන්න. Sorry. Another question has been raised. Deferred tax adjustment can't be considered as subsequent. No. Deferred tax asset or liability could be reversed in subsequent periods, but at the recognition, right, at the acquisition day, because of the fair value measurements, the carrying amount affected. Carrying amount affected no කියන්නේ deferred tax carrying amount affect වෙන තැන තමයි ළමයි deferred tax adjustment එක කරන්නේ. එස deferred tax liability හෝ asset එක recognize කරන එක ඒ carrying amount එකට impact එක වෙන තැනම කරන්න ඕනේ. නිසා ඒක subsequent adjustment එකක් නෙමෙයි. Okay. What else? ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩයි. Does the goodwill change based on the different methods? No ළමයි. වෙනස් වෙන්න බෑනේ. කොහොමද වෙනස් වෙන්නේ? එකම අපි හිතමු එකම ගෙදරට යන්න තියෙන පාරවල් දෙකක් කියලා. ඒතර අනිත් පාරින් ගියොත් දැන් අපි හිතමුකෝ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයට එන්න පුළුවන් පිරිවෙන හන්දිය පැත්තේ. ඒ වගේම විජේරාම් පැත්තේ. කොහෙන් ආවත් එන්නේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයටනේ. ඒතර මොන අප්‍රෝච් එක ගත්තත් බේසික් නෙමෙයිවා. බේසික් accounting asset minus liability approach එක ගත්තත් එන්නේ net asset කියන්නේ equity නේ. කෙලින්ම equity එක ගත්තත් එන්නේ net asset නැත්නම් equity. ওই දෙක උත්තර දෙකක් එන්න බෑනේ. නේද? ඊළඟට අහනවා මොකද්ද? Why don't we consider the asset in SOFP at the acquisition date? ඉතින් ළමයි asset consider කරපු නිසානේ මේ reported දැන් මම දන්නේ මේ පස්සේ join වෙච්ච කට්ටියද කියලා. ඉතින් මේ asset to liability recognize කරපු නිසානේ මේ දෙක ආවේ ළමයි. ඒකනේ මම කිව්වේ equity approach ගන්න කියලා. ඉතින් ඔයාලා මේ asset ටික ඔක්කොම එකතු කරලා 480 වලින් liability එක 130 අඩු කරොත් එහෙම right 480 minus 130 කියන්නේ කීයද? ඔන්න total asset ගත්තා. Total liabilities ගත්තා. It is again 350, right? Now see here the total is 350. ඉතින් අර එකින් එක asset ගන්නවා වෙනකොට ළමයි equity balances දෙක ගත්තා නම් ලේසි. හරිද? කමක් නැහැ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා විසඳගෙන යන්න නම් ළමයි නැත්තම් ඉතින් මේක මේ මෙතඩ් එක වලට තේරෙයි දැන් ඉස්සරහට යනකොට කොච්චර අමාරුද කියලා. ඒ නිසා මේ ඉෂුස් තියෙනවා තේරුම් ගන්න යන්න. Okay, so I can go to the next step, that is BCVR entries. Let me erase this. Okay, next step is business combination valuation entries. Business combination valuation entries here. If I write the full name, business combination valuation entries. මේකට කෙටියෙන් කියන BCV entries කියලා. දැන් ඔයාලගේ නම තේරුම් ගත්තාම if you understand the name business combination valuation entries. Now when it comes to the business combination, you have to take the fair value of identifiable net asset. Okay, fair value of identifiable net asset, right? Now the reported or the carrying amount of equity, right, may not be reflect the fair value. Now in this case the carrying amount of equity is 350,000. It is not the fair value of the equity. Therefore what we wanted to do, we had to do some fair value adjustments. Fair value adjustments කීපයක් කරන්න උනා. First one is fair value of land, buildings and contingent liabilities. හරි? so මේ asset පැත්ත නෙමෙයි ගත්තේ මම මත පැහැදිලි කරනවා asset පැත්ත නෙමෙයි ගත්තේ equity එකට බලපෑම. ඒක තමයි මම මෙතනින් පෙන්නන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ ටික. හරි? දැන් මේවට entries ලියන්න ඕනේ. අර worksheet එකේ මම එදා පෙන්නපු consolidation worksheet එකේ post කරන්න we have to write consolidation journal entries. Okay, we'll take one by one. Now business combination valuation entries. Now these entries are arisen because of the valuation. Why do we value to get the fair values? Okay, because SLFRS 10 says you have to consider fair value of identifiable Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Right. So because of the valuation, we have to write these entries. Now we will take the first one. Okay, number one, you take the land. Now, if you look at my accounting equation, you can easily write the double entry, right? Land value is increased by 10,000. Land value is increased by 10,000, right? Land value is increased by 10,000. Therefore, land is debited by 10,000. Land is debited by 10,000. But because of this, the carrying amount increase, right? Now land is debited by 10,000, therefore carrying amount increase. Because of that, deferred tax liability arises. Therefore, deferred tax liability credit 30% of this, that is 3,000. Right? And therefore, your equity increased by 7,000. ළමයි ඔයාලගේ නැත්තම් අපේ පන්තියේ පුදුම අපලයක් තියෙනවා. මම මේ අනිත් ලෙක්චර්ස් ඔක්කොම කරනවා, මේ ඔයාලගේ ලෙක්චර් එක තමයි ඩිස්ටර්බ් වෙන්නේ. මොකද්ද මන් දන්නේ හේතුව. මේ ටයිම් එකට දන්නේත් නැහැ. ෆස්ට් ඉයර් ලෙක්චර්ස් ඔක්කොම ටැක්ස් ලෙක්චර්ස් ඔක්කොම අපි කරනවා, කිසි ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. නමුත් මේ ඔයාලගේ ලෙක්චර් එක තමයි දිගටම ඩිස්ටර්බ් වෙන්නේ. දැන් මගේ වොයිස් එක ක්ලියර්ද? රයිට්. ඕකේ අපි බලමු. මම මගේ වීඩියෝ එකත් ඔෆ් කරා. Alright. Now my equity increased by 7,000. Now this is very much equal to the revaluation reserve. Okay, this is very much equal to the revaluation reserve. But we can't use the revaluation word. The reason is, you know, as per LK 16, we can revalue usually the property, plant and equipment. But here, not only property, plant and equipment, other assets and liabilities. දැන් ඔයාලා දැක්ක මෙතන contingent liabilities උත් තියෙනවා. නිසා මේකට revaluation reserve කියලා කියන්න බෑ. ඒකට බොහෝ සෙයින් සමානයි. ඒක නිසා අපි මේකට කියනවා business combination valuation reserve. Okay? business combine කරන නිසා value කරන්න ඕනේ fair value එකට. එතනින් ඇති වෙන reserve එක. Very much similar to the revaluation reserve, but we can't say it as revaluation reserve. එහෙනම් අපි කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Write down business combination valuation reserve, BCVR. අන්න ඒ reserve එක කියන්නේ equity එකේ component එකක් නේ. ඒ වැඩි වීම තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ මේකේ. ඔය රිසර්ව් එකේ ඉන්ක්‍රීස් වීම තමයි ඔතන අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඇක්විසිෂන් ඇනලිසිස් එකට ගත්තේ. Now is this clear? Is this clear, lamai? Okay. So we will take the next one. Right. Malshan is asking, can't be credited to the retained earnings? No. The reason being, lamai, reason is if something is realized, then only you can transfer that to the retained earnings. ඕනම දෙයක් රියලයිස් වුණොත් තමයි, ඒ කියන්නේ ගේන් එකක් හරි ලොස් එකක් හරි රියලයිස් වුණොත් තමයි රිටේන් අර්නින්ග්ස් මාර්ක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? එතකොට රියලයිස් වෙලා නැහැනේ මෙතන විකුණලා නැහැනේ. මේක fair value adjustment එකක්. ඒ නිසා you can't transfer that to the retained earnings. If you do so, it is incorrect. Right? If something is realized, then only you can transfer that to the retained earnings. Otherwise, no. Right? Hope I answered the Malshan. My answer for the previous question is you can't transfer this to the retained earnings because this gain has not been realized. Right? If something is not realized, you can transfer that to the retained earnings. Right? Okay. Number 2, we will take the buildings. Okay, now whenever you revalue a depreciable asset, first of all, you have to remove the accumulated depreciation to the relevant asset account. Now it says this asset was originally purchased at 100,000 cost. Make originally purchase kare 100,000 cost. Okay, 2 years ago. Okay, Netsarni is asking, could you please say again that why couldn't we credit this amount to the land revaluation reserve? තමයි revaluation reserve එකට දාන්න බැරි. අපි revaluation කරන්නේ ඔය property plant and equipment විතරයි. හරිද? revaluation reserve එකට දාන්නේ ඔය property plant and equipment revalue කරොත් විතරයි. As per the LK 16. හැබැයි දැන් මෙතන අපි PPE වලට limit වෙන්නේ නැහැ. අපි ගන්නේ සියලුම assets සහ liabilities fair value එකට ගන්න. We take all assets and liabilities at fair value. ඒතර හැම asset එකක් සහ liability එකක් නිසාම fair value adjustment එකක් එන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? දැන් මෙතනම අපිට පේනවා contingent liability එක නිසා fair value adjustment එකක් එනවා. ඒතර ඒ වගේ දෙයක් අපිට revaluation reserve එකට දාන්න බෑ. මොකද සාමාන්‍ය revaluation reserve එකට දාන්නේ PPE. නමුත් මෙතන කියන්නේ නැහැනේ PPE fair value එකට තියෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. PPE විතරක් නෙමෙයි. ඔක්කොම assets සහ liabilities fair value එකට තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට ඒ එන fair value adjustments අපිට revaluation reserve account එකට දාන්න බෑ. Right? So what we have to do is we have to use another reserve account which is called as business combination valuation reserve. Business combination valuation reserve. Okay, මම නැවත කියන්නම්. අපිට කියන්නේ SLFRS 10 වල SLFRS 10 වල අපිට කියන්නේ all asset and liabilities should be measured at fair value. එතකොට හැම asset එකක් සහ liability එකක්ම fair value measure කරනකොට now is this clear? I mean, is my voice clear?
Yes.
දැන් හරිද? right. හරි අපි ඉක්මනින් මේක ඉවර කරමු ළමයි සෑහෙන ඩිස්ටර්බ් වුණා. දැන් මම අවසාන වශයෙන් කියන්නම් voice එක clear නැති වෙච්ච නිසා. right. Now SLFRS 10 says all assets and liabilities should be measured at fair value at the date of acquisition. Right? Now taking the fair values into consideration will create fair value adjustments for all assets and liabilities. ඒතර හැම asset එකක් liability එකක් නිසාම fair value adjustment එකක් එන්න පුළුවන්. Revaluation reserve එකට දාන්න බැරි අපි revaluation reserve එකට දාන්නේ PPE වල revaluation surpluses නැත්නම් deficit විතරයි. හරි? හැබැයි මෙතන fair value එක ගන්න PPE විතරක් නෙමෙයි. මෙතන fair value එක ගන්න all assets and liabilities. Now in this particular example you can see even the contingent liabilities are measured at the fair value. Therefore there is an adjustment to the fair value. Right? Therefore we can't take the fair value adjustment to the revaluation reserve. Right? It is more logical. Therefore we create another reserve which is called as business combination valuation reserve. ඒ නම බොහොම logical. බලන්න business combination එක නිසා අපි asset and liabilities value කරනවා. ඒ නිසා ඇතිවන reserve එකක්. Business combination valuation reserve. Okay, is that clear? Can you quickly respond?
Yes.
Is that clear? Right. Right. Therefore, you can't use the revaluation reserve because it should not limit to the PPE. It will apply for all assets and liabilities. Right. Therefore, we can't use the revaluation reserve. And one question was raised by Malshan: can't we take that into retained earnings? No. The reason is the gain or the revaluation adjustment has not been realized. තාම realize වෙලා නැහැ. asset එක විකුණලා නැහැ. හරි? ඒ නිසා realize වෙනකන් අපිට gain එකක් හෝ loss එකක් retained earnings වල ගන්න බෑ. ඒකයි මේක වෙනම reserve එකක තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා you can't take that into the retained earnings because it has not been realized. Right? Okay. So if we come to the second one, that is building revaluation adjustment or the fair value adjustment. Now whenever you do a revaluation to the building, now actually I can use revaluation word for the building and land because they are property, plant and equipment, but I can't use that revaluation word for contingent liability. Right? Okay. So whenever you revalue a depreciable asset, the first thing that you have to do is to transfer the accumulated depreciation of that asset into the relevant asset account. Okay. Now this building was originally purchased at 100,000 2 years ago, right? And this is being depreciated at 10% per annum. So මේ building එක අරන් තිබුණේ ලක්ෂයකට අවුරුදු දෙකකට කලින් මේ building එක 10% depreciate කරනවා. Right? මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා කියමින් හිටියේ depreciable asset එකක් revalue කරනකොට ඒ revalue කරන දවසට accumulated depreciation එක ඒ asset එකට මාරු වෙනවා. අපි මෙතන ගණනය කරලා ගත්තත් ඔයාලට පේනවා 100,000. Okay, here 100,000 into 10% per year, that into 2 years. 100,000 into 10%, 10,000. 10,000 multiplied by 2 years, 20,000. Therefore, accumulated depreciation at the date of acquisition this company should be 20,000. So it is there in the statement of financial position. Okay, accumulated depreciation of the building 20,000, so we can verify it, right? So what we need to do, we have to remove that accumulated depreciation. We have to remove that accumulated depreciation against the asset. So what I can do, you know, accumulated depreciation account is having a credit balance. To remove that, accumulated depreciation account debit, write down. Accumulated depreciation account debit, its balance at the date of acquisition 20,000, and it should be transferred to the relevant asset account. Therefore, it is a building account. Therefore, buildings account credit 20,000. Okay. Okay, now the carrying amount of this asset is 80,000. 100,000 තිබුණා buildings වල 100,000 තිබුණා. හැබැයි දැන් 20,000 අපි accumulated depreciation credit කරපු නිසා carrying amount එක 80,000 වෙනවා. හැබැයි carrying amount එකට වැඩිය fair value එක 45,000 වැඩි කියලා කියනවා. අපි මෙතනත් ඒක දැක්කා. Right? The fair value is increased, or the fair value is increased in this building than the carrying amount by 45,000. Right? So we can record that. Therefore, buildings account debit, because it is a revaluation gain, fair value gain. Building was undervalued, no? Earlier we decided that. Therefore, buildings account debit, the gain of 45,000. Now, because of this gain, we earlier discussed a deferred tax liability is arisen. Therefore, write down deferred tax liability credit. The balance is 13,500. Again, this is a valuation reserve, right? We can't use this revaluation reserve because of the reason which I gave you earlier, right? Which I told you earlier. Therefore, the reserve is the same reserve, business combination valuation reserve. Credit 31,500. Now, is this entry clear? බලන්න මේ entry clear ද කියලා?
Yes, sir.
Right. Any questions so far? දැන් මොන reserve accounts දෙකක්, ඒ කියන්නේ එකම account එකක් හදුනා, entries දෙකක් ගියා BCBR වලට 7,000 and 31,500. Okay, as a working, you can prepare that account. If I prepare, let me erase this one. You can prepare BCBR account. Now from lands, we got 7,000 credit to the BCBR account. From buildings, 31,500. 31,500. Now, similarly, for the next liability, we have to record the fair value adjustment. Now, see, it is a liability. That is why I told you, you can't use the revaluation reserve account to record this fair value adjustment because it is a liability. Usually, revaluation account is used for PPE revaluation. Now, here we don't limit to the PPE items. We have to get the fair value of all asset and liabilities. Therefore, we will go to the third one. Okay, it is a contingent liability. Now, in the business combination, we have to recognize that, right? So, what happens? A liability increase. You can focus on this one, liability increase. Okay. Contingent, you can say contingent liability, or you can make like provisions. What is it? Legal claim. Provision for legal claim. We will write it like that. Provision for legal claim. It is a liability, therefore credit 3,000. Now, because of that, a deferred tax asset arises, right? Therefore, deferred tax asset account debit 900, right? Now, because of these adjustments like the provision and the deferred tax asset, the equity comes down by 2,100. Again, we use the same reserve, BCVR, business combination valuation reserve, debit by 2,100. 2,100. Now, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. ඒක තමයි ළමයි මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. ඔයාලා රිසර්ව් එකේ ඉම්පැක්ට් එක තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. රිසර්ව් එකක් කියන්නේ ඉක්විටි එකේ කොම්පොනන්ට් එකක්. රිසර්ව් is an component of the equity. ඒක තමයි මම මෙතන ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. acquisition analysis එකට. හරි? මම ඒකත් රෙකෝඩ් කරොත් එහෙම in the BCVR account from the provision BCVR account is debited by 2,100. 2,100. Right? So we have done 3 fair value adjustments. Now, the goodwill is also an asset. Only the case is it was not identifiable, but it is an asset, right? In some way, goodwill can asset එකක් දැන් recognize කරන්න ඕන. මොකද ඒකත් asset එකක් එකමද ඒක identify කරගන්න බැරි වුණා. ඒකයි මම එදා කිව්වා unidentified කියලා. But again, it is an asset, right? Therefore, number 4, goodwill account debit. Goodwill account debit 13,600. Now, asset increase. On the other hand, equity increase, right? Equity increase. Therefore, we take the reserve account, same reserve account, BCVR account credit 13,600. Prematilaki is asking what type of account is BCVR account. It is an equity account. BCVR can equity account. Make a reserve account. Reserve can equity. Make a equity type account. ඒකනේ මේ ටික මෙතෙන්ට ගත්තේ මම මේ highlight කරලා තිනුනේ. Okay, so goodwill account debit, let me take that into the BCVR account. BCVR account credit, let's say goodwill. $13,600. Now, I think up to this point it is clear. Now, keep focus or attention. Your attention is very important in this case, right? Now, here we wrote the BCVR entries at the date of acquisition. එනිසා මෙතන ලියා ගන්න date එක අපි ලිව්වේ මේක එදාට acquire කරගත්ත දවසට කියලා හිතලා. 30th June 2016. මොකද මේ ගානේ subsequent කිසි දෙයක් දීලා නැහැ. එදා තමයි statement of financial position එකක් දීලා තියෙන්නේ. හරි? statement of financial position එක දීලා තියෙන්නේ එදා තමයි. ඒ නිසා කිසිදු subsequent adjustment එකක් මෙතන නැහැ. ඔක ලියාගන්න. ඔන්න අපි අර consolidation adjustment වල number 1 එකත් කරා. So if I go back to the steps, now this is done, right? So we will take the second step or the 2.2 step in the consolidation adjustment, adjust for pre-acquisition entries. මෙන්න මේකට මම කිව්වා මේ chapter එකෙන් අපි කතා කරන්නේ මේ කළු පාටින් තියෙන දෙක විතරයි. මේ දෙක කතා කරන්නේ ඊළඟ පාඩම් දෙකේදී. Intergroup transactions and NCI we discuss in other two topics, but in this topic we limit to the pre-acquisition entries, right? We limit මෙතනින් limit කරනවා. එහෙනම් අපි ලියමු pre-acquisition entries. Pre-acquisition entries. Pre-acquisition entries. ඒ කියන ළමයි acquire කරගත්ත දවසට අපේ investment එක set off කරන්න ඕනේ equity එකත් එක්ක. The logic, I mean, what we do in the pre-acquisition entries, we have to eliminate the investment against the equity of the acquiree or the subsidiary company, right? We have to eliminate the investment in subsidiary company against the equity balance at the date of acquisition of the acquiree, right? The logic here is we can't have investment in ourselves. අපිට අපි තුලම investment එකක් තියෙන්න බෑ. Now these two entities are regarded as a single entity now. Consolidation වල වෙන්නේ මේ දෙන්නම දැන් එක්කෙනෙක් කියලා හඳුනා ගන්න. එතකොට අපිට අපේම investment එකක් තියෙන්න බෑ. හරි? ඒ නිසා investment එකට against acquiring එකේ equity balances eliminate කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ pre-acquisition entries කියලා. හරි? මේ ගානේ සියලුම දේවල් ළමයි දීලා තියෙන්නේ acquire කරගත්ත දවසට subsequent කිසි දෙයක් දීලා නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේක lazy pre-acquisition entry එකත් අපි ලියන්නේ 30th June 2016. හරි? එතකොට acquire කරගත්ත දවසේ at the date of acquisition okay, wait. So Kumar has raised a question. What is the purpose of BCVR account? The purpose of BCVR account is to take the fair value adjustment of asset and liabilities. Right? Fair value adjustment එක ගේන්නේ BCVR account එකට. ඒක රෙකෝඩ් වෙන්න එපා කොහේ හරි. ඔයාලා සමහර තැන්වල කරලා ඇති revaluation account එකක් අරගෙන. හරි. හැබැයි ඒක revaluation කියන්නේ බැරි හේතුව මම කිව්වා. එතකොට BCVR account එකේ purpose එක තමයි to accumulate the fair value adjustment of asset and liabilities. There should be a reserve account, equity account, right? BCVR is a reserve account and equity account, right? So it will be a created account in the acquisition. Because of the acquisition, we created that equity account because of the fair value adjustments. Because SLFRS 10 says you have to take the fair values of asset and liabilities, right? So what I was telling you, the pre-acquisition entry. ඒකෙදි වෙන්නේ අපේ investment එක set off වෙනවා. මේ තියෙන්නේ අපේ investment එක තියෙනවා parent ගේ investment එක 400 තියෙනවා. ඒක set off වෙන්න ඕනේ subsidiary company එකේ equity එකත් එක්ක. Okay? Now at the date of the acquisition, subsidiary company had share capital 300, retained earnings 50. Right? දැන් බලමු මේක අයින් කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා. එහෙනම් අපි එනවා මෙතන pre-acquisition entry වලට. So equity of the acquiree or the low-tech. Gayanti, if you have a question, you can ask. You have raised your hand. Okay. Now, equity balance at the date of acquisition of the acquiree or the subsidiary company should be eliminated. අපි දන්නවා equity balance එකක් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් credit entry එකක් ලෙස තියෙනවා. equity account එක credit balance එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒතර ඒකෙන් අයින් කරන්න equity account debit. So you can write share capital account debit. Share capital of acquiree acquiree එක තමයි අයින් කරන්නේ. acquirer ගේ අයින් කරන්න බැහැනේ. Logitech. Right? Logitech. Debit. Now at the date of acquisition, we can remember the figure 300,000. So to remove that balance, share capital account debit 300,000. And also at the date of acquisition, the retained earnings balance of Logitech Lotech Limited was 50,000. Retained earnings. So it should be removed. Therefore, debit 50,000. Okay, 50,000. And also, Lamai, because of that fair value adjustment. Now, this is important. Because of that fair value adjustment, right? We created a special reserve which is called as business combination valuation reserve. Now it is specially created for the consolidation. Now let's take the value of that account. Now if you take the value of that account, credit side, the total, if I take the total 7,000, 31,500, 13,600, it is 52,100. 52,100. Okay, so 52,100 minus 2,100, its balance is 50,000. Now we created this reserve account because of the fair value adjustment at the date of acquisition, right? එතකොට මේ reserve එකත් create වෙන්නේ at the date of acquisition. This reserve is created at the date of acquisition. Therefore, this is also a part of the equity at the date of acquisition of the Lotech company. Lotech company එක acquire කරගත්ත දවසේ equity එකේ part එකක්. එහෙනම් ඒකත් eliminate වෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද equity එක eliminate කරන්න කියලා. එහෙනම් ඒකත් eliminate වෙන්න ඕනේ. BCVR, to eliminate it, it should be debited. Debited by 50,000. It is a reserve, therefore it is a part of the equity at the date of acquisition. Therefore, in the pre-acquisition entries, you have to eliminate all the equity balances of the Lotech company at the date of acquisition, including the BCVR, because it is a reserve account. Okay. Now I told you this should be eliminated against the investment. Investment is a debit account. If you eliminate it, investment account credit. Investment account credit 400,000. Right? So you can see the investment value 400. 400. Now this goes to the investment account. Then this account will be cancelled. This account will be cancelled. Is this clear? Any questions? Others? Okay. Now Lamai, in 5 minutes or 10 minutes time, I will finish the lesson because I have another lecture at 5, right? So what you want to do is, now in the answer Lamai, answer, you have been given all the things. මේ ඔක්කොම ටික මම හදපුවත් ඇති. මම හදුවා හරියද කියලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. මේ ඔක්කොම මම කරා. මේ ටිකත් මම කරා. මෙන්න මේකට ફોකස් කරන්න. ඔයාලා මේක ගෙදරින් හදන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මේකේ තිබුණට කමක් නැහැ මේකේ හදන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ මේ කම්පැනිස් දෙකේ ඔරිජිනලි තිබුණ ගාන. මේ කොලම් දෙක තමයි ඔරිජිනලි තිබුණ කොලම්ස් දෙක. ඔයාලා මේක හෙට හදාගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. හරි? ඔරිජිනලි තිබුණ එක. හැබැයි under equity we created another account which is called as BCBR. See? BCBR. Right? එතකොට adjustment ටික ඔක්කොම BCBR එකට දාලා තියෙනවා. ඔයාලට මතකයි නම් අපි adjustment ටික නිකන් මතකින් කරමු. මේ බලන්න. land account එක debit වුණා 10. මතකයි නේද දැන්? හරි? land account එක debit වුණා 10. deferred tax liability account එක credit වුණා 3. හරිද? BCBR credit වුණා 7. හරිද? ඔන්න ඒක හරි. ඊට පස්සේ buildings ගත්තාම accumulated depreciation අපි 20 මාරු කරා. එහෙනම් accumulated depreciation if I take a different color 20 debit the buildings account credit 20. ඒක ඇවිල්ලා නැද්ද? මේක මේ net impact එක ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඔයාලට මෙහෙම ලියන්න පුළුවන් මෙතන 25 දාන්න පුළුවන්. sorry 20 දාන්න පුළුවන්. හරි? අන්න ඒක හරි. ඊට පස්සේ ඒ entry එක මතකයි නං මම ආපහු යන්නේ නැහැ උඩට 45 අපි debit කළා. ඒතර මෙතන 45 දාගත්තා නම් ලේසි වලට. මේක 45 කරගන්න. 45 debit කළා. ඒ නිසා deferred tax liability එකක් ආවා 13500. ඉතුරු එක 31500 BCBR credit කරා. හරිද? මම හිතනවා මම මේ කරන එක පැහැදිලි කියලා. ඔයාලා මෙන්න මේක කරගෙන එන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ third එක ආවේ contingent liability. contingent liability අපි recognize කරගත්තා 3 provision. ඉතින් provision එක 3 credit වුණා. deferred tax asset එකක් ආවා 0.9 deferred tax asset 0.9 BCBR debit වුණා 2.1. හරි ඔන්න අපි BCBR entries ටික කරා ඊට අමතරව goodwill එක අපි identify කරගත්තා. එහෙනම් goodwill this is goodwill 13.6 goodwill account debit BCBR credit. හරිද? ඊට අමතරව අපි pre acquisition entry එක කරා. එතෙන්දී අපි equity balance sign කළා. එතකොට මේ තියෙන්නේ ඒ අයින් කරපු equity balances. Share capital debit 300. Retained earnings debit 50. BCBR debit 50. Okay, share capital debit 300. Retained earnings debit 50. BCBR debit 50. All together we credited to the investment account 400. Then the result is group statement of financial position. මේක දකින්නකොට ලේසි වෙයි. නමුත් ඔයාලා ගෙදරින් හදාගෙන ඉන්න ළමයි. එතකොට ඔයාලට මේක හිර වෙන තැන් නැත්නම් වර්ධින තැන් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. මේ consolidation worksheet එක මේක තියෙන එක කමක් නැහැ. නමුත් අර entries ටික post කරලා journal entries ටික post කරලා debit and credit කියලා ගන්න adjustment තියෙන ටික debit credit කරලා දාලා ඔයාලා worksheet එක හදාගෙන ඉන්න. හරි? worksheet එක හදාගෙන ඉන්න. Is this clear? Is this worksheet clear ළමයි?
Yes, sir.
Right. Others? Okay. ඉතින් ඔයාලගේ ගානට ඔයාලා worksheet එක හදාගෙන ඉන්න. ඒක ලේසි මට. ඉතුරු ටික කරන්න. එහෙනම් with that I will finish for today and tomorrow we can get into the complex areas that will be very complex when it comes to the subsequent period, right? So we will discuss that later, I mean tomorrow. So your homework is you can revisit the question and redo the answer and prepare the worksheet, right? ළමයි ඔයාලා ඒක follow කරොත් තමයි මේක තේරෙන්නේ නැත්නම් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. Okay then. Sorry for the disturbances that we had during the today's lecture. I think that it is wrong with this time period. Otherwise, I am doing lectures using this connection for other subjects, right? We'll see. Okay then. See you tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, everyone.